All right, let's talk about pain. What's the difference between pain that you chose and the pain that chose you?
Pain that I chose, I look at it as my training and the things that I did to inflict, quote unquote, pain prior to pain that was chosen for me, which was the accident. There, the waking up early, the bartending late at night, the doing all these things willingly to put myself in discomfort that, I was able to choose those things to do it versus the accident happened and now I'm kind of put into a place of suffering that I didn't choose to be in at all. I think those are probably the two main differences in that I can see, or that I've been able to, either befriend pain or not befriend it.
What's the difference in value that those types of pain bring to your life, if you can say that?
Chosen pain, I feel like it allows a person to build capacity. So the more that you put yourself in uncomfortable situations or in discomfort, the higher your threshold is to be able to tolerate pains that life just hands you.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas pain that gets handed to you, not really handed, but kind of thrown in your face and smacked in your face, at that point, I feel like you have the choice to either do something with that pain or let it be your entire life. And by doing something with that pain is where we try and find purpose behind the things that, happen to us, because sitting in it and suffering and questioning it until you turn black and blue doesn't help it at all. But being able to take the pain and turn it into something, to alchemize it into something that people notice and are able to extract from, I think that's what makes the pain that gets inflicted upon us that much different than the pain that we choose.
Mm-hmm.
What about for you? What do you find the difference?
I mean, definitely that the pain that you choose allows you to endure the pain that's inflicted upon you. I can agree with that more. I'm so grateful for having chosen. I used to love pain and suffering. I would love going elk hunting and hiking, whatever many miles until I killed, you kill an elk and it's 6 miles into the backcountry, and you're gonna have to take I would take every bone, every rib bone, every organ, I'm taking everything out. So I would know that now the pain starts. Now it's gonna be multiple trips in and out until all this meat's gone, so that wolves or whatever doesn't get it. And I loved that, and I would walk until it felt like all the bones in my feet were broken, and I really, really liked that type of pain. And I guess I'm super thankful for it now, because it definitely gave me some lesson in learning to enjoy pain and learning to relish it.
And, it increases your threshold.
Mm-hmm. And increase the threshold. And the challenge for me is just learning, right now when I'm dealing with constant, never-ending, brutal chronic pain, it's really hard to remember to love it all the time.
Yeah.
And pain's the worst when you're wishing the pain's not there. That's when pain gets turned up a million times. If you accept it and even enjoy that it's there, or tell yourself that, it's pretty crazy how much pain you can endure.
It's insane. I don't know about happily, but
I just mean
in a way to be able to endure it.
Yeah, I mean, you can endure it and still be happy and still do things okay. And be okay. It's but if you're just wishing that pain's gone, then you're in hell. If you're just constantly wishing the pain wasn't there, or thinking about what it would be like without the pain, that's when it gets really difficult. Or that's when the pain, like for me at least, that's when I experience the pain at the worst, is when I just am imagining that it's going to be there forever, and I'm just wishing that it's going to be gone.
Right. Yeah, I do think that there's like also the threshold of emotional and mental pain versus the actual physical pain, to where I think at a certain point there's only so much that no matter what you're telling yourself, at least for me, no matter what I'm telling myself, especially in the moments when I'm having like that super sharp stabbing nerve pain that makes me want to throw my fist in the wall, there's only so much I can tell myself that, it's okay that it's happening until it's not okay, and I just have a freak out attack,
Oh, I break down.
Yeah.
For sure. There's a threshold where it hits a certain point and it just defeats me. Like it wins for a certain amount of time, and it will start creating like negative thoughts, or like that I don't want it to be there, and it wins sometimes. Like but the period of time like is only over when I choose it to be over. When I choose to, or if the pain just gets better. Like there is sometimes it just passes and gets better. But if it's just something that's never ending, then there's like periods where it defeats me completely, and I'm just consumed by it and can't, function or operate normally. And then there's times, eventually I'll be able to, accept it again. And as soon as I accept it and just am like, no, this isn't gonna defeat me. I'm not gonna focus on it, and like you build up the willpower to overcome it, I guess.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I still haven't figured out that part when I have my nerve pain bouts. But what do you do when you're at like the brink of your pain, when it's like so overbearing, or like it's too much where nothing you're telling yourself is working?
I mean, either lay in bed and roll around in fucking defeat, or just eventually if it's just not stopping, I just make it go away. Like I just make it, I guess not go away, but I just push my focus away from it. I just take my focus off the pain and don't allow my mind to ruminate on it and even like acknowledge that it exists. I just say, fuck you, and like, you don't exist. I'm not going to pay attention to you, and do something active for me, like take dog for a walk, take Cleo for a walk, go play ball with her. Or normally before this injury with my femurs, I would exercise and do yoga and meditate, or breath work. Breath work is huge. Like if I'm having like 10 out of 10 pain, like it feels like my legs are burning and it feels like someone's digging a knife into my ribs or something.
Oh, horrible.
Then I'll usually do a breathwork session if I can commit. Like, but sometimes it's so hard to choose to do what you have to do, because
pain takes over.
It saps your willpower.
Yeah, and then especially when you don't have the willpower to divert your focus, or you're unable to because of how much it's latched onto you. Yeah, it is really hard to do the things that probably would help it, but sitting in that cycle sometimes it's hard to break.
Yeah, I've spent thousands of hours since getting injured, trapped inside that cycle, using too much willpower to not have the pain completely overtake me and just be writhing on the ground screaming for help. Using all my willpower to do my normal stuff and just choosing distraction over work, whether it's listening to a podcast, watching a YouTube video, watching a movie, just doing something to distract my mind from the pain. That isn't the work that will actually get rid of the pain, because I might not have the willpower to do it, but I always find the willpower at some point. It's just like, am I going to suffer for 7 hours before I find the willpower? Or am I going to suffer for 7 days?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Sometimes, because physical activity does help when my bouts come about, but sometimes I just still sit there and I let it take over because it's so hard to sometimes get it. It's so hard to get out of it. Because I can hop on the Peloton and I can, exert a bunch of energy, but then as soon as I'm done, it just comes right back and it's like, damn, I thought I had a hold of you.
Mm-hmm. And that's what, like, knowing that the pain's going to come back is oftentimes like what stops me from doing the thing that's going to relieve the pain temporarily.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's just a hopelessness, an illogical hopelessness. Like, it shouldn't be that way. I should just do the thing and not enjoy the fuck out of the hour that I'm not in pain, doing yoga or doing whatever it is that helps. But sometimes I'll just choose not to do that and just choose to stay in the pain because it takes away your willpower. It's a constant, I think
it's horrible.
I think for me, like, I imagine willpower kind of as like a lake inside me sometimes, because like that has a dam that is like controlled by factors that are happening. Like, if I go and do a giant workout, that's going to open up the dam and sap like tons of willpower out. And pain is just a constant, it's lowering that dam and letting a lot of willpower out all the time. And eventually you run out of willpower and it is almost impossible to restart it. You have to dig the lake deeper, with exercise or something so that it has more capacity the next day.
Yeah. No, I never thought about it in that way. I look at willpower as like a muscle that you exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that you can exercise it, then the stronger it gets, except pain somehow is like the kryptonite to that muscle.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how much you try and work through it, or how much you say that you're going to do X, Y, Z despite it, it just completely takes over. Like, your whole entire body is just, there's nothing that can take you out of it except I don't even know. I haven't figured it out yet.
I haven't figured it out yet either. It's something that I'm really working on right now, just because I'm in so much more pain than I've ever been in before, and I can't do the things that I would normally get me out of pain. Normally I would do pull-ups, and I would stand, and I would bike, and I would get on the floor, and I would do yoga poses and stuff, but with the broken femurs, I haven't been able to do any of those things, and my leg's still so swollen and fucked up. I'm really scared to do anything. I don't know where the line is yet, and I am pushing it, like, for the first time in my life. Normally with any other injury, like, I've pushed really hard, but I'm pretty scared to push this one. I just don't want to end up in the hospital again.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I can imagine.
I've had to focus a lot on the pain and being happy, and also getting everything that I want to do done to, like, meet my goals in the future. And it's been just challenging, and I've failed a lot of days, to do it, because it's a process. You got to dig. In my mind, I think that I just got weakened by the hospital stay, weakened by the injuries, weakened by the fear that came along with it, by the loneliness, by the kind of getting stopped in my tracks when I already felt I had momentum. And it's kind of like, it's like a mudslide came in and filled up half my lake. And now I got to just keep extricating it and build up that reserve of willpower again. Because I really do look at it as a reserve. But I definitely haven't figured it out, but I am, working really hard to master pain and accept that, as a lot of philosophers and, stuff, that life is suffering, and to just appreciate the moments when suffering isn't happening, and really enjoy those, and just let the moments when suffering is happening be neutral rather than negative.
Yeah, right. It's I think that's the difference between pain and suffering. Pain is the stimulus, so there's going to be constant pain in our lives, whether it's emotional, mental, physical, and maybe at a point in time that there isn't any of those things, but then it's the stories that we attach to those stimuluses that, or stimuli, that essentially causes the suffering. So the suffering is the story that we attach to the pain, versus pain just being what it is. And suffering doesn't always have to come along with pain.
Yeah, no, that's as huge. That was like a revelation when you said that pain is just happening, and suffering is our interpretation of that pain. Like you can't choose whether or not you're in pain, but you can choose whether or not it's making you suffer. Like when I tell myself this story, like that, oh, I fucking love this pain. This is making me harder. This is making me better. Like, give me like all the pain in the world. It's totally fine. I don't like when I harness it like that, and I love it and I enjoy it. And I just think I was born to endure pain. I was born none of this bothers me. Like when I have that story in my head, it's fuel and it's not suffering. But when I have the story of like, this is never going to end, like this is going to be happening forever. Everything seems hard, and it makes all the tasks and all the things that I need to do seem impossible. And I allow that in.
Yeah, it's like that negativity that we unfortunately allow in, that is attached to the story, which is attached to the suffering.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it does make it hard, especially when really horrible things are happening. And it's hard to not attach stories, because our lives and how we move through our day is nothing but stories, right? How we perceive the world is a story. And so if we aren't able to, or if we are able to disconnect a story with our pain, then I think less suffering comes along with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even though I think there's still a threshold with like physical pain.
Absolutely. You hit a certain point, and you're going to break down for a while. And for me, what helped a lot was just having grace and just being like, you're suffering, you're in pain. Like what you really need to do is just lay down and rest right now, and not feel guilty and not feel like you need to be doing a million things.
Right.
And it's a balance. For me, I'm lazy as fuck naturally. Like I hate, I want to just chill a lot of the time. And so for me, it's finding the balance of like what's grace and like what's just being fucking lazy at this point. Like
when are you giving yourself too much grace?
Mm-hmm.
That's something I've been thinking about too recently. How a lot of people do give too much grace to either friends, family, and that grace, actually I wanted to make a video about it, but I think giving grace to an extent can be like poison.
Eventually everything becomes poison at a certain dose, and eventually it's not grace, it's justification. Like you're not giving grace, you're just justifying bad behavior.
Yeah, it's so true.
And for me, I always used like brutal whipping of myself and like horrible self-talk and punishment as fuel. I thought that was the best way to fuel yourself. I thought you just whipped yourself and told yourself that like, oh, you're being fucking weak right now. And like
some people need that.
It resulted in positive self-talk eventually, but I found like just skipping the brutal whipping and going straight to the positive self-talk is actually way more productive for me. Like just going in like that David Goggins video. I love that video. It's quoted in every motivational video when he's like, you're the baddest motherfucker alive. You're the baddest man alive. And like,
hell yeah, I am.
Thinking that mentality of like I'm born for this pain. I'm the baddest person alive. Like I'm supposed to be doing this. Like that's it is the only way to defeat it. And he's obviously the master of pain. Like,
did he run with like 2 broken legs or something?
I mean, I know that I saw a video that is basically his knees have no cartilage in them whatsoever, and it's just straight bone on, like his knee is basically gone, and his femur and his whatever bones are below, tibia, fibia, are just like grinding away in like a hole. Like they basically cut out a hole in the bone up here, and just whatever it's doing is as gnarly as it gets as far as choosing pain. I wonder, like, I often see stuff that he's doing. I'm like, is that self-harm? Like, is that a cry for help? I don't know if it's, I almost don't know if it's good, but it is, he's an incredible force of positivity in the world. So obviously it is good.
Yeah. There's purpose behind his pain.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think, his is still chosen pain, but also, his is chosen pain unless, well, but I guess with his book and stuff, and like his childhood and stuff, that wasn't chosen pain. That was definitely just pain that was inflicted upon him. But he's turned it into what he has now.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think that for me, like that's his mentality on pain. Just through, I've never read his book or anything, but just through listening to him on a couple podcasts and hearing him talk in motivational like videos and speeches, I'll often in the morning time, usually only if I do a morning workout, I'll go on YouTube and just choose like motivational video. You need to move something around?
No, I'm good.
Oh. I'll choose like a motivational video, like motivational speeches, and just listen to that while I work out, like a super hyped up or like hardcore one.
And they're just yelling in your ear.
I love that.
Yeah, I do too. There's a video that I just recently saw, and it said it was you're thinking about, you just went 6 days in a row to the gym, and you're thinking about having a rest day, and so you go sit on the couch and you open up your Instagram, and the first reel that pops up is David Goggins. He's like, "You're a bitch." Damn it, and you close it, and then you go back to the gym. Yeah.
If I hear David Goggins talk for more than like 25 minutes, I'm gonna go do a workout or something.
Yeah, it's hard not to. It really makes you feel like you should be doing more than what you already are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm in a delicate balance right now of trying to figure out like where I want to land on that spectrum, because I spent so much time like I get burnt out. I'm not David Goggins. I would get burnt out on doing like really, really hard, like taxing workouts 5 or 6 or 7 days a week. It would just make me super unproductive in other areas of my life. Like I don't have the ability to like do an hour and a half or 2 hour, like massive central nervous system, like devastating workout.
Right.
And then actually be productive afterwards. I just go fest. I just go faster.
Well, I think that's the difference between being able to choose your heart. So that's the heart that he chooses to do.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, the book, The Comfort Crisis, they go out to the tundra, and it's like 2-3 guys just to go kill, I think, like an elk or something. And they're out there for days and days and days, and they just pack up like one backpack, and they have to like, maintain their snacks with how many calories they're putting in, and then, when meal replacement things and all of that. But it's putting them in an uncomfortable heart situation to where, David Goggins isn't doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But it's still, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like neurologically still doing what David Goggins is doing in terms of putting yourself through that discomfort, through that hard, to be able to come out better on the other side of it.
Mm-hmm. That was my favorite way of like choosing suffering and everything, was going out into the wild and just either walking or something for days at a time and having to survive and sleep in the dirt and like
it
shower
taps
in
into
the river.
It taps into a different kind of instinctual biological view or feeling in your body, that because the world is the way that it is, you never get to tap into that unless you actively put yourself in those situations.
That's one thing I really miss about being not paralyzed, is I was always planning an adventure. Like my whole entire life since I was 8 years old, I was planning my hunting trips that year. I was planning my camping trips. I was planning, whatever, a grand adventure when I got older, going backpacking in Australia or going cycling in Africa. Like I always had a big plan on the horizon somewhere. And I miss that so much. Like I don't know, like how to capture that same feeling paralyzed. Like adventures are really hard to do paralyzed, and it'd be actually adventurous.
Right. Yeah, it is, because you have to have like so much preparation, and then like the spontaneity isn't there.
You got to have a team. You got to
Yeah.
plan with a bunch of other people that are willing to help you and take on, share some of the burden
Yeah.
with you. Like a good buddy of mine that I used to live in New Zealand and Australia with was talking about doing a bike trip together, and like I was really excited for that. I was going to maybe do it like this summer, but broken femurs kind of threw a wrench in that idea. Yeah. But we'll get together and make it happen. But I'm just realizing as I'm talking that that's something that I need to recapture and do, is having at least one like grand adventure per year, whether it's an elk hunting trip or whatever, where I get to like go feel adventurous and challenged in some way.
Yeah, outside of being challenged in a wheelchair, because I think every day we're challenged in the wheelchair.
Yeah, and even like the wheelchair could be a part of it, but just to have, even if it's not like it used to be. Like I went elk hunting a couple times, and I mostly just stayed in camp and drove around and hunted from the road and hunted whatever bears, deer, just out of my van, and it still satiated that, like, because I just being in camp and stuff, and like I gutted a bear myself and at night and stuff, and like it was super challenging, like being bent over in the wheelchair gutting a bear for 4 hours. Like it took fucking forever because I'm in like tall grass with logs all over the place. And so like if I just left my knife, like one of my knives at the other end of the bear, it was like a 10-minute journey to like get the knife.
Yeah.
So it was super, super challenging and hard and painful, and it satiated that chosen pain need for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's learning where you can satiate that feeling in just different areas. And it might not, and being okay with it might not looking the same as before, but still being able to fill that cup or fill that need.
Yeah. We should talk after the podcast, and just over the next couple weeks and months, we should plan some sort of adventure.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I'd be down for that.
Maybe even, we'll talk about it more, and maybe even take a few more people along or something and coordinate it, because I have tons of people that'll do cool shit like that, and it takes a little bit extra planning and definitely good friends around. And it's so different, like how, this is kind of a tangent, but how some people are really intuitive to what you need, and like some people have no fucking idea. Like I have some friends that like I'll just so clearly be struggling or something, and they'll just be telling me a story and talking, and like I can't get over a log or something, and they're just like, they have no idea it's happening. Then other friends, like any hurdle or something happens, and they're like, oh, what do you need help? Do you need, or they just see when you're gassed. They're just, some people are so much more intuitive than others.
Or just having awareness, right? Like just being aware that things are a lot harder for you, or in general, and that maybe we should just be looking out a little bit more.
Yeah.
Versus going about whatever that is that they're doing.
Well, a lot of people just are so inwardly focused, I think, that I've certainly noticed after being paralyzed that the helpful, or the people that are intuitive and really want to help and stuff, are the ones that aren't constantly ruminating on themselves. They're not the super anxious, super worried friends. Yeah,
and that makes a big difference, most definitely.
All right.
And then, well, I mean, we can come back to that with like, the ones that are really close are also kind of enduring. Well, I mean, they have endured pain with you, the ones that at least were around when everything happened and are still with you going through the motions now. At least for me, I mean, I had friends that were helping me in the hospital and in rehab, and now we look back and we laugh at those moments, but in the moment it was rough, right? And being able to share that with certain friends, and them still being able to like look out for you and stuff, it is it's like a shared suffering almost. Friends being able to, move with you in the journey versus kind of putting a halt to it with the way that their outlook on it, and having a more positive outlook on it helped get us both to the other side of it, really.
Yeah, it was huge. The people that acted like something devastating had happened to me and they're so sad for me and like they feel sorry for me, I still feel the love that is there, but it doesn't help. It doesn't help in the same way at all. If people are,
because it kind of feeds the victim mentality of like, damn, like, yeah, something really bad did happen to me, and like, whoa, like, how did I get here?
It just doesn't. Even though you feel the love, it doesn't help you. Like when you like acting really sad that something bad happened to someone, other than like acutely, or like meeting them where they're at. If they're really sad about it, be sad with them. But when I wasn't sad and people were just sad for me and felt sorry for me, and like you could tell that they were like, it scared them, and they looked at like it, whatever.
That's how they handled the discomfort of what you were going through.
Yeah, and you should, no matter what's happening, whatever's in your heart is getting poured into that person's heart, no matter what. If you have fear for them, if you're sad for them, like you're just pouring sadness and fear into them. If you're just grateful that they're alive and you're like, you're going to get through this, you're so strong, you're lucky your life prepared you for this, we're still going to do dope shit together.
Yeah.
That mentality, then they have gratitude. There's some people were just grateful I was alive and like excited for me. Like,
yeah, the energy of gratitude moves way differently than the energy of sadness and fear.
Mm-hmm.
And one is uplifting and the other just, bogs you down.
I've never really thought about that before now. I never really recognized it when it was happening. I only with hindsight am I looking back and was like, because at the time I was just grateful they were there,
mm-hmm.
and grateful that they were loving me, and I didn't think anything of it. But with hindsight, it really makes a big difference. If you have fear for the future of someone, like you just make them have fear.
Yeah, because energy feeds off energy.
Mm-hmm.
And how you're feeling is definitely going to rub off on me in the same way that how I'm feeling will rub off on you.
Yeah, man, it makes a huge, when you're going through something like as devastating as a spinal cord injury or any major injury, life-changing injury or cancer or anything like that, you're going to really see the power of the five people around you being the average of who you are.
Yeah, and then the power of words too. It's kind of like those science experiments in middle school where I think I remember one where somebody planted some seeds and then talked really nice to some seeds and talked really poorly to the other seeds. And not that these people are talking poorly to us, but the energy behind the words that they are saying, feeds into the things that they're talking to, right? And so the ones like the plants that, or the seeds that got good energy and are talked to really nicely, they flourished and grew, whereas the ones that didn't, you know? And so that tells a lot too, right? I wake up every morning and I go and I talk to all my baby plants, right? And I'm like, good morning. And everybody's looking so nurtured and flourishing. And I swear it helps, So I think, I definitely think that there's a lot of power behind the words that we speak. And so not even knowingly, right? Or just the energy behind the things that we talk about.
Maybe that's why my one papaya tree looks worse than the other one, because I always think you're such a bitch. Why is this one doing so good? I was like, this one's awesome. This one's so badass. You suck. Like, why? Maybe I'm just feeding into it. It's like, damn, my owner hates me. Poor guy. Maybe I'll go give him a pep talk tomorrow.
Maybe. Oh my gosh, what if you started really talking to him and he just, then all of a sudden he has a bunch of papayas and shit.
I'll test it out.
Yeah, you should.
It's so close to my neighbor's fence. My neighbor's always out back sitting there with his dogs. And we're like, what the fuck? Man? That guy
why is this guy talking to his plants like that?
Yeah.
So then, okay, what, in the beginning of your injury and when things were really flipped upside down more than they currently are, what were some of the narratives or stories that you were telling yourself to be able to move through it? Or maybe what was the underlying story that you had to constantly rewrite to be able to like navigate back?
Well, I mean, the main vein of it was like, there's 0% chance that I don't gain full function back. Like I never allowed myself to doubt almost ever, like only for short periods of time, that I was like, I'm going to figure out how to get 100% function back, like running, playing with my kids, snowboarding, like I'm going to get it all back. And that was the main thing. Like that narrative, changing that narrative is haunting to me. I can't even imagine what life would be like. I guess I can, because I lose it sometimes. And when I lose that, it's just gross. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah, it puts you down in like a super dark hole.
Just accepting that I'm going to be in a wheelchair forever, like, fuck off. I can be happy in the wheelchair and also not accept it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't accept it. I'm not.
Yeah, I agree.
It sucks ass. It's terrible. Like, it's objectively horrible. Why would I accept?
Yeah, why would anybody want to accept it?
No, I mean,
and there are people that do, but
I heard that in rehab from people, like, the sooner that you accept it, like, the sooner, that you're okay. You can still try to heal and stuff, but, like, the sooner that you just accept, that this might be a forever thing, I'm like, it won't fucking be forever. Like,
yeah.
I'll just keep trying. Like, I will not accept it until I'm on my deathbed, and I'll be like, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah. I mean,
it just makes it way better not accepting it.
Yeah, well, because it's like the story, behind it's what we tell ourselves that gets us through, the hard times, especially when things are like really, really shitty and really, really testing you. It isn't forever. That was something that I actually that was what I had to keep telling myself, and I still tell myself that, but I would always say, like, this isn't forever, especially like the really, really hard things. I mean, even last week when I was, not with the wheelchair, I mean, it was so exhausting. It was so hard, and I cried so many times because it was just really, really difficult. And in those really, really hard times, I had to keep telling myself, like, this isn't forever. It's just like this for now because it's all new, and the same thing, being freshly injured, when you have a caregiver with her finger up your ass so you can go to the bathroom, it's like, this isn't forever, Yeah. I remember having to say that so many times because it is very, it's a really horrible place to be in, to think that this is how life would be forever.
Well, I've been struggling with that so much lately because I just had such a major setback in all my healing, and so many unknowns introduced into my life with having both my femurs snapped off and being told that that's just the way it is now. We have to leave them like that, and you have to
live this new norm. You have to figure out your new norm. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and I've been in bed and just exhausted a lot because I don't know if it's like just from healing, but I think it's in part my body's just taxed from having so much to heal. I think it's just exhausted.
Yeah, lots going on a cellular level.
Yeah, and then also feeling like challenges like this are going to be forever, like not being able to shake that feeling like that there's more big challenges to come, and I'm just not up for it right now. I'm building myself back up to be up for that and to accept that that's reality. But like right now I'm just having to ignore that because the voice,
because you're still having to move through what you're going through.
Yeah, the voices and the whispers in my head that keep me down right now are like, you're going to have more challenges like this. Like, because I've been floored so many times since getting paralyzed, where I build myself up and get momentum and things happen and then get hit with a major health thing that I'm having to overcome the idea that this might be the last. Like, I need to think that this might be the last one, that I'm going to beat this one, and that I'm going to be on a constant up and right trajectory. But I'm just battling with that right now. I can't defeat the fear all the time, but it's like less and less of the day, every day, I'm spending in fear.
Yeah.
And more I'm spending in confidence that I'm going to be, the donations and everything that people made were like saving grace for being able to like believe that I'm going to be able to do this, you know, like that. Having so many people pour into me was, at that moment, it literally saved me. Like without that, I would be so fucked right now. I don't know what I honestly have no idea what I would do, because I'd just be ruminating on not being able to get any of the treatments I need.
Right.
Whereas now I'm just deciding the best way to heal this and treat it with a team of people helping me. And because I made those videos, because I reached out, so many people reached out to help, and it was just
amazing.
It's been amazing. Yeah. So,
and capitalizing on those opportunities so that you can get a very good outcome.
Yeah. So I guess the bottom line of what I'm saying is sometimes it takes, sometimes you can't defeat it, and you need people to help you. You need your team.
Yeah, a team is everything. I was gonna, with the fear of having things continuing to pop up in the Daily Stoic, actually, the one of yesterday, it talks about how pain is actually never ending and that it's always going to be there, but we just find a way, or we, increase or build the muscle to be able to endure that pain that much more. And so, not to say that future issues are going to happen. I mean, knock on wood, pray to God that doesn't happen to you. But in the case that it does, that fear can kind of be held back, because you can just look at it as, if I got through what I had just recently gone through, then I can get through this too, right? And being able to recognize that, there's always going to be issues that pop up. There's always going to be pain that's there. And it's not that we can ever get rid of those things, but we can build the muscle to be able to endure those things that much more. And the same, if we relate it back to working out, sometimes, in the beginning of working out, things aren't easy at all, and then nothing is ever going to, like, we're just super sore and our muscles don't have the endurance to play out the things that we need to do. But then we continue working, and eventually that muscle endurance gets built to where, this thing is happening, or these reps need to get done. And maybe you haven't done those reps yet, but because of all the reps back there and prior to, we know for a fact that we can still get through it.
Yeah. No, it's for me, it's like slowly building that muscle back up right now. That's what I've been doing, and I just am getting to the tipping point of like actually getting momentum and like having 7 hours of like good energy and feeling good per day, rather than like 35 minutes or none whatsoever. Just feeling like hopeless and shitty all day. Because there is just a threshold that eventually you just break.
Yeah, unfortunately. And there's nothing, like I said, it's like kryptonite. There's like pains like kryptonite at some point.
Mm-hmm. Especially
like physical pain.
Yeah, physical pain, especially like nerve pain combined with like physical pain, and pain's scary as well. Like, because I don't even know what the fuck's happening half the time. Like, my back just hurts incredibly bad. Like, it feels like someone's driving a railroad spike into my back, and I have no idea what's causing it. So like it's scary. Like, you don't know what it means. And I think it's just, it always comes back to the same thing. It comes back to being grateful for what you do have, and just what else are you going to do? Just not work your ass off and, just be a slug and sit there and wallow in it. Yeah. There's no choice. You just have to get after it.
Yeah, it's true. And sometimes getting after it means you just got to get really uncomfortable for however long it takes to get through it.
Yeah, forever, really. Like, you just have to accept that there's going to be huge swaths of your life that are really uncomfortable, and that's just how it is. So you might as well do it.
Yeah.
I've been this is the most I've ever been guilty of wallowing in it, just because the exhaustion. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's causing it. I've just been so
pain is exhausting.
Yeah.
Pain in itself is just exhausting, because it does take a lot of mental energy too.
It does.
Because you're also fighting all of these thoughts that come through. Like that takes that takes a lot of energy.
And pain when you're like fucking up your sleep is just the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, it 100% is. Do you think pain is a teacher, a test, or a trap?
I think it's a teacher. I think it's 100% a teacher. I think it's there to teach you about yourself, and
even physical pain?
I think so, yeah. I think it's a teacher. I think I've learned more from physical pain than any other thing.
What's like the number one thing you've learned from actual physical pain?
That it's a choice. That it, like, at the end of the day, it is a choice. Like, experiencing it is a choice. You have full autonomy over your body, and you can just shut things off and not experience them. But it's a skill that you have to work at and endure. And sometimes, like, there's certain pains that it's not really a choice, but suffering is a choice. Like, learning that was really...
Suffering is a choice, for sure.
Was really, really transformative to my life, because if you have control of something as gnarly as, like, really bad pain, then you have control of everything.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it's how we, back to, like, the reacting and responding narrative. If you react, I mean, you can react to the pain that you're feeling, or you can respond to it. Reacting would be, having those mental breakdowns and, really sitting in it and sulking in it and being like, oh, what was me, But then responding to it is, I see that you're there. I don't want to acknowledge you, at least for physical pain. I do think, like, emotional and mental pain need acknowledgement, but I think for physical pain, not having to acknowledge it does put, like, kind of shoves it under the rug until it's not a bump anymore and it's just flat.
I mean, now for the past couple months, I've been using Oxy to endure the pain. I literally couldn't endure being in the hospital without it. And then after I left the hospital, I was just physically dependent on it and wasn't willing and ready to endure the pain of getting off of it, because it's so painful to get off of until now. And so in preparation for knowing that I'm going to stop taking it, I've really been trying to fall in love with the pain. Like, that's why I suggested talking about pain on the podcast, and you had, like, that quote and stuff that you had read. It was just, like, the perfect thing. But yeah, in preparation, I've been trying to really fall in love with the pain and, like, tell myself, like, oh, I love the pain. Like, I'm born to endure pain. This is great. Like, thank you so much for letting me know that my body needs attention. Thank you so much for letting me know that I need to work hard. Like, I'm just trying to turn it into a complete positive, so I'm ready to, endure the 8 or 10 days of, like, really gnarly pain next week when I just stop taking Oxy.
Yeah. And those little mental shifts are important. And that gratitude, like, thank you for making me aware of what I needed to pay attention to in my body. I think that's a big one, right? Because a lot of people don't look at things like that in that light.
Yeah, it's really fucking hard to look at it that way. It's the hardest thing in the world to be like, be grateful for it happening. Your instinct is to just resist.
So much resistance.
Yeah, and like all the resistance just causes immeasurable amounts of suffering. You gotta just go with the flow. Stop fighting it and let it happen, and just tell yourself you love it over and over. I tell myself over and over again, I love this pain so much. I love it. And when I do that, I rapidly find ways to reduce the pain. And when I say that I hate it and I'm resentful of it, I can't find a way out. And then I can't find the motivation to get it done. So
yeah, I can relate with that. I find myself, like, being thankful that I can feel the pain and that I have the ability to experience it, because, I mean, it could be worse where I couldn't at all.
Mm-hmm.
Even though sometimes it's like, dang, what would it feel like if that wasn't happening? Or, I mean, I've had thoughts where it's like, what if it feels like if I didn't have legs? How much pain would I be in then? Would I be feeling the stabbing pain that's constant on some days? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to just remember that, like, so many other people have it worse than you, even though like when you're in the maximum pain, you can't imagine how it could get worse. Like when it's 10 out of 10 pain.
Yeah,
It's
it like
hard
doesn't
to-
it doesn't invalidate like how much it sucks. You
Mhm.
know, like we can totally. I mean, I remind myself all the time, like, God, people have it so much fucking worse than me. I mean, I remind myself like with what you're going through. I'm like, God, I'm such a little bitch, but you're going through like so much worse things, and here I am complaining about this shit I'm complaining about. You know what I mean? And so it's bringing awareness to those things and like, you know, slapping perspective in our face, but at the same time not invalidating that what it is that, you know, we're going through doesn't also suck. It just helps. It does actually help, you know, move through it a little bit better, because it's like, yeah, like, man, I should just be tougher.
I'm guilty of when other people that are completely able-bodied now are going through things in their life, and I'm in like max pain, and they're telling me about it, and I'm just like, that must be so hard.
Yeah.
You have so many options right now. Like,
Yeah.
I hope you can see like how many options you have to fix this, and how awesome it is.
Do you think they do it to try to relate to you, or do you think they do
No,
it like
yeah,
unknowingly?
I'm just saying, like when I'm talking to a friend and they're just like, you know, they're just telling me what they're going through and that they're suffering and that something's happening, and I'm just like, you know, it doesn't, because you can only experience what you're experiencing. Like,
right.
They're feeling maximum pain or suffering, but I'm like, you have no idea how much worse it could be. You just don't know. Like, you literally don't know. Like, I don't know what it's like to be quadriplegic.
Yeah.
At all. I don't know what it's like to, you know, have been a burn victim and had 90% of your body burned or something. Like because like I've heard that's the most painful thing that can possibly happen to someone. Like you're having nerve pain and weird shit all over. Because so, yeah, it's just, it does make it hard to like hear other people's problems sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes those people need you to say, like, hey, somebody has it way worse than you, and then they're like, oh yeah, you're right. You know, like, I swear people 100% need that slap of perspective in their face, because otherwise they just carry on complaining about the stupidest shit. And if somebody doesn't have the balls to say, hey, maybe you shouldn't complain, and maybe you should just be grateful for what you do have, because somebody, you know, somebody is a quadriplegic, and somebody is a burn victim, and somebody can't see the things that you can see or hear the things that you can hear. And maybe you should just be a little more grateful, and, you know, you do something about the situation that you're in.
I know. And like, I see people complaining and saying they're having like anxiety or something. And I'm like, yeah, but you can go for a run right now. Like, you know, you can go for a run in the sun. But someone who's quadriplegic would see me complaining and be like, yeah, but you can literally sit up and go to the gym by yourself and work out.
Yeah.
And that amount of freedom would be everything to someone who is, you know, reliant on varying degrees to other people or something, you know?
Yeah. No, definitely. I'll never forget. This was before I even got injured, but I saw a picture. It was like a little cartoon, and it was a picture of a person in a wheelchair, a person walking, a person riding a bike, a person with a really fancy car, and then, or a car, and then a really fancy car, and then like a helicopter, right? And it basically, each one was like, man, like, I wish I had that. But then it all goes back down to the person in the wheelchair, right? And it's always like, oh man, like, I really wish I had that. And then, you know, the person on the bike, or, you know, the person in the wheelchair saying, oh man, like, that person has it so good. And then the person walking is like, fuck, like, I have to walk like all this way, like, I wish I had a bike. And then the person on the bike, he's like, you know, man, I got to bike all these miles, and man, I wish I had a car. And the person in the car, see, you know, and so on and so forth. And it just really paints a perspective of, yeah, you know, what you want is, or what you have is what somebody else wants.
Yeah, I mean, someone's probably sitting in like an insane, you know, supercar or Rolls Royce or something, getting driven around, and, you know, just in some city and seeing a helicopter flying and being like, oh man, someday I'm going to be the guy that can afford a helicopter. And they're just like, they're not content in the position that they're in. So
then it makes you think, like, if you're not content with where you're at and with what you have, what makes you think that you're deemable to have the other things?
Oh, for sure. I mean, it definitely unlock whenever you get grateful for the position you're in, it does seem like it immediately unlocks something, and you get more, or you get gifted something. Like it just, I think the world operates like on immutable laws of the universe, like and God, and I don't think they're breakable. Like I think there's like mathematical laws that govern everything that are designed into the system.
Yeah, I think
And
energy is like the currency. And so when you have a grateful heart with anything in your life, that gets reciprocated outward, And then people, things, places, they feel that and they see that and they want to be a part of it. And that's how we attract the things. I think really gratitude is how we attract a lot of the things that happen in our lives.
I think that gratitude is probably like the energy that like literally binds everything together. I think someday science will find out that like the binding force of the universe is gratitude and love. That's just how it was designed, and that's why it's such just an affront to God who created all that to feed into the negative, because it literally breaks those binds. It breaks the universe apart. Like I think it just causes disruption and chaos and problems, and that's just how the system's designed. Those low frequency emotions, sadness, shame, guilt, fear, anger, resentment, they all literally cause like, because you see it, I mean, it breaks the family down, it breaks relationships down, it breaks, it can tear your business apart. It literally tears things apart if you allow, if you feed into those negative emotions.
Yeah, because again, like the energy is the currency. And if we feed more into the negative ones, then that's really what's going to be coming back.
I know, it comes back so hard with such a force.
I know.
And it's such a self-reinforcing cycle for me.
And back to the question of pain being a teacher, test, or trap, I think that's where pain can also be a test to see if you, are going to sink into it and let the negative emotions come and hit you. Like when we are like in the midst of it, it seems so unbearable and so harsh that, like a lot of negative things do float in, and the victim mindset sometimes does come in, and it's really hard to not, especially when your wall's broken down, it's really hard to not let that come in, and I think that's where pain can become a test too.
You're totally right. It is a test. It does feel like a test. It feels like there's an inherent like built-in feeling where it feels like, because I've gone through this, I don't know if this is true, but it feels like, I don't know if this is a story I tell myself, but I don't really tell this story, but just in general, it feels like when you're suffering, when you're going through pain, even that you don't choose, it feels like there's going to be a reward at the end. Like if you pass the test, if you do it right, like it just feels that way. It feels like I have to get something out of this.
Yeah, and I think that's why with the I think it's safe to say with unchosen pain that's just given to us, that's why we have to, like, that's the meaning behind it. Like, I'm going through this, like, there has to be something on the other side of it, and in order for us to work through it and get to the other side, it's going to take a lot of work, but like at least the other side is the reward. And I think that's important to distinguish too.
Yeah, there's a huge reward in getting, like for me, it's when my heart's in a state of gratitude and loving the pain, and I get to the other side and can look back on it. I feel as though most of the time when that happens, I get physical rewards, like in the real world, of just good luck happening to me, whether it's running into the right person or just coming into like a good deal where you make some money or something happens. Like it just seems like it.
Because you endured. Enduring the pain.
Well, I have to pee really, really bad, so we might have to end this episode because I don't think I can wait any longer to pee. And unraveling, you can't see from the camera there, but like we're completely trapped inside this little area. So unraveling ourselves is kind of I don't think we're going to come back after that.
Yeah.
Should we call it quits?
Yeah.
Episode 7.
Episode 7.
Love you guys so much. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for everyone who has reached out and offered help. And I mean, it's been incredible. One of your clients literally offered me like sessions of hyperbaric oxygen.
Yeah.
And that, she's never even met me, doesn't even know me. It's just been absolutely incredible. So thank you
she's
so
awesome.
much.
Thanks, Jody.
Yeah, you're amazing. It's everyone who's donated their time, money, and effort. Like, you really don't know how far it's gone. And it's just, I just hope that I can do the same for so many people in the future. Like, I really hope that I'm able to, through this podcast and everything, that we're able to reach a ton of people and get people out doing sports and maybe plan some adventures and just do all sorts of shit to pay it forward to the community, because this is a rough injury to endure, and it
really is.
It's
a lot of pain and suffering that comes with the injury.
Yeah, I just saw someone, a climber who I follow, whose wife got a spinal cord injury. It was just so heartbroken. Like, she was right at the beginning of it. She was at Craig Hospital just starting this whole thing. And I immediately sent a message and just told her that she should reach out to you and stuff, because it takes a community. And
it really does.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to be able to build that.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think we will. I think we are.
Yeah, I'm really confident that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Love you guys.
Love you.
See you on the
Thank
next
you so
one.
much. See you next one.
All right. That was a good episode, I think.